Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing a sort of another build request. I did actually see this one in the comments a couple of videos ago asking if I would do a Victorian house. So I decided that absolutely yes I would. Now Victorian style is actually one of my favourites, and these Victorian style homes are literally all over the world, not everywhere, but you know, you get them in America, especially you get them over here in the UK, and they are so beautiful. This particular style is literally, it's one of my favorites, and I don't know what it is about a Victorian house, but there's just something that really draws me to the sort of architecture of it, and I just really love it. But saying that, there's also kind of like a dark, creepy element to Victoria homes, and I'm not entirely sure I could live in one, and that's not the first time I've said that. So this time when I came to do this house, I wanted to kind of build a Victorian-esque style house. So it's not a complete like let's go for like Victorian. It's just like I wanted to make it look Victorian but very sort of warm and welcoming. So it's not how you would see it in a traditional sense. But yeah, I have to apologise through this voiceover. I'm literally going to try and do this voiceover as quickly as I can with the least amount of takes as possible because I am scorching right now. We're having a heat wave over in the UK, and it's supposed to be some kind of African plume, they call it, where we get this gust of warm air coming from Africa, and it is absolutely scorching. I mean, I feel sorry for my friend Antoine, who's sim architecture over in France, because it's so much warmer there, and I believe it's going to hit up into the 40s again, but we might even have a record breaker in the UK this week. I'm just like, oh, I'm sweltering. So I'm going to try and get through this voiceover as quickly as I can, and see how we get on. So I have actually done a few Victorian homes before in the past. One of my favourites was, I was actually requested by a viewer to build a Victorian house for her grandmother, and I think I've explained this story before in a previous video, and I really enjoyed that because she explained that her grandmother actually played The Sims as well, and she said she only had a certain amount of packs, and you know, could I build her a house? And that was really sweet. You know, I kind of liked the whole sentiment of that, and I really enjoyed making it. But on the whole, I love making Victoria houses, but they're not really that popular, if I'm honest. I think if I look at my gallery and the downloads and, you know, even views of Victorian houses, they don't tend to be as popular as other styles, but I still love to do them anyway. And, you know, they've got a lot going on. I always feel like Victorian homes are really busy on the exterior. You know, there's lots of detail that goes into it. So I actually really enjoy making them because actually building the house is one of my favourite processes when it comes to building in The Sims, as well as because everyone knows that I kind of really love landscaping, but I do really love the actual building of the houses as well. So doing Victorian ones are always quite fun and a little bit challenging as well. So I was really trying to come up with a shape of the house that I've not done before, because I feel like a couple of them can be quite similar, and I've used sort of turrets and things like that in the past, and I really wanted to just do something a little bit different. But like I say, I really wanted to go for this sort of warm vibe. You know, I wanted it to look like a really nice, happy family home, you know, that was very welcoming and inviting. There was nothing creepy about it. I didn't use any like dark blacks or anything like that on the exterior, or, you know, any harsh colours. I just wanted it kind of really light, if anything, like a modern Victoria home, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. So initially I started this build off in Newcrest, and it's normally where I tend to build Victorian houses because the setting in Newcrest is very sort of generic. There's not really a particular style to the neighbourhood, so I kind of feel like you can build anything that you want in this world quite comfortably without it looking too out of place. I know that when Strangerville got released, obviously that world is completely strange. It's meant to be strange, but I always found it really odd to see the Victorian houses up in that world. So I like to build my Victorian houses in Newcrest. However, I did end up moving it over to Willow Creek because I felt like the environment around, all the trees and things like that I keep going on about, these weeping willows. I feel like I've been talking about them non-stop since the release of the update recently. But I did move it over to Willow Creek in the end, and it looked really pretty there. So on the whole, this is a 3-bed, 2-bathroom build, and it is set on a 30 by 20 lot, eventually in Willow Creek, and it actually comes in at just less than 158,000 simoleons, which I don't actually think is that bad for a home that, I've not intentionally built to a budget. I think that's not bad going for a pretty decent sized house. I mean, you could fit a good amount of Sims in this home because the actual bedrooms, it's really got like 2 big double bedrooms and a third sort of single room. But I don't know, if you kind of like messed around with the floor plan a bit, I'm sure you could fit in another bedroom on top of that. It's fairly spacious inside. But as far as the outside goes, it's really quite small, and I feel like that is, although this garden hasn't been done to be anywhere near like a Victorian feel, I do feel like the Victorian houses in the UK tend to have very, very small backyards. If anything, they rarely really have gardens. I suppose the ones that are situated more towards town centres tend to have small yards, but then thinking on, I do remember back in my hometown we used to have these gigantic Victorian homes, and they were like mansions. These were like 7-8 bedroom houses, and they definitely had massive gardens. So I suppose it depends where your Victorian house is, but this one in particular had a fairly small back garden, but somehow I still managed to fit a pool in, so I'm quite impressed. Now, with regards to the inside of this build, I would say that predominantly the interior is not very Victorian. I mean, I could have gone really old-fashioned, and in a sense when I started out and I was picking like these kitchen cupboards and stuff, I was thinking, should I go a bit more traditional? But I don't mind a Victorian interior. When I look at other builders that kind of build a traditional Victorian interior, I think it's really beautiful. But as far as a playing goes, I just don't like playing in really old houses, like with sort of an old-fashioned interior. And I know it's just a build and it doesn't really matter, but I just don't like doing it. So it's kind of like, it's just a homey sort of interior. It's just probably a very typical Kim interior, just kind of messing around with lots of neutral colours for a change and just seeing what I could come up with. So yeah. So I hope you're all having a fantastic week so far and you enjoyed the weekend. My kids are actually officially on their school holidays now, which is super exciting, but in all honesty, not a lot has really changed because my eldest son's 15 now, so he's literally like, if he's not out, he's asleep in his bed. So I don't really get to see much of him. And my middle 2 children, my son and my daughter, are 7 and 9. And my son's actually about to turn 8 on Friday. And just recently, we actually live next to a park, but it's kind of across not a main road, but it's sort of a road that leads to a business park, so it can be busy at certain times of the day. And it's only just recently that I've finally allowed them to kind of go over there with friends and, just play in the park without having to go with them. And it's just one of those things, you want to kind of like wrap them in bubble wrap for as long as possible, but it does get to the point where you kind of think, well, if their friends are playing out, then as long as they're together, I will let them go. And I can literally see them from my window. But anyway, because I've allowed them recently, out to play, they're not in either. So I've not really seen much of them other than the evenings. They've literally been out playing with friends, but it's really nice. It's nice to see them kind of relax. And school's really intense. Like when I was younger, and I'm really not that old. In fact, it's my birthday a week today. But when I was younger in primary school, we'd maybe get a little bit of spellings to do and maybe some reading. But for them too, they get things like reading, they get maths, they get sometimes big projects and things like that to do. And I always think it's like really harsh when they're sort of like that young to have an intense 6-hour day at school followed by homework to have to do as well on top of that. So it is actually nice when it does get to the holidays and they finally get the chance to sort of down tools and really chill out. So, but as I say, we're having this massive heat wave at the moment in the UK. I'm surprised I've not slid off my chair already and just like into a puddle on the floor. So I am actually debating whether to get like a big paddling pool for all the kids and they can sort of have a water fight or something this week. But we'll have to wait and see. So on the whole, I'm actually really enjoying doing these build requests and, keep them coming in the comments section because I'm just kind of adding I'm going through the comments section, adding all these new ideas to this list. And it's been really fun actually to kind of, take in an idea and see what I can come up with. So yeah, definitely keep that coming. But last week I did do a couple of quite big builds, and I would say predominantly on my channel, I tend to do big suburban houses, and that's just what I love to do the most. But coming back this time, I think what would be easier for me to do is to keep doing my bigger builds, but occasionally do some smaller ones as well, because it kind of takes the pressure off me a little bit to do massive builds, and because they're so time consuming. I think I must spend, for the really big ones, I tend to spend about 8.5 hours sort of building and finally doing the interior and everything from start to finish. So the smaller ones can take me just a couple of hours or 3 to 4 hours. So I think what I might do is, I'm always going to do my big builds, don't worry about that, but I might just drop in some smaller builds as well. I know I've had a request for apartments, but to be honest, I don't really tend to have much interest in apartments. Just, I would say for myself, because I tend to prefer building than doing interiors. But I don't mind doing occasionally, some apartments, but I'd like to do some small houses as well. Not only that, but not everybody likes to kind of play in massive houses. So it's nice. I know when I came back and I did the couple of sort of beach huts in Solani, they were so cute and really fun to make. And it's really nice as well because it sort of keeps me interested to, do an idea of a build, create it, and then move on to the next project quite fast. So I'm going to see what I can come up with. But I also just wanted to say a massive thank you as well for all your comments. And, sometimes I just don't get the time at all to really reply to everybody. But I certainly read through those comments, and some of them are just like, it just feels surreal, to kind of read a comment and think that that's sort of to do with me, if you know what I mean. It's like a strange thing, but I just want to say thank you so much for all your support and kindness. Even if I've had quite a few people actually say, I've been a subscriber for a really long time, but I haven't commented. And, don't ever feel like you have to comment. Just, you are supporting my channel, whether you comment, like, in any way. Just by being here and watching is a massive support to my channel. So, I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I do feel like I say this quite a lot, but you know, I genuinely mean it, and each video comes some really, really beautiful comments that I just feel are worthy of a mention, so thank you so much. So another thing that I wanted to mention as well is that I am fast approaching 40,000 subscribers, and I am so excited. I love reaching milestones because I never thought I would get this far. In fact, to be fair, when I started my channel, I didn't really have any goals. I don't even know what made me start a channel. That was the thing. I literally just had a baby. She was 9 weeks old. I mean, what a time to start a channel. And it just came out of the blue. And I think I must have been playing The Sims one day and was just like, you know what? I think I'll make a channel. And here we are, and I'm just literally in disbelief, but I love it when I hit milestones because it's just a massive thing to me, and it always will be, no matter how many subscribers I've got. But keep your eyes peeled because I love to do giveaways at milestones as well, so I will be having a giveaway. I'm not sure what or when yet, but as soon as you know, we hit that milestone, I'll let you know in a video. But just coming back to the build, I am just working on one of the double bedrooms now, and this is probably one of my favourite rooms in the house. I must admit, even though interiors aren't really my thing, it's not the thing that I love to do the most when it comes to building, I do really enjoy doing bedrooms for some reason, and I think it's because you can kind of inject a bit more personality into a bedroom, and we've got so many sort of, you know, furniture items for bedrooms as well. I kind of feel like you've got quite a lot of choice with it. But I am moving on to, I think this is the final room now, and I decided to build this sort of walk-in wardrobe, and I didn't really know what I was doing with it, but you know, I included a little table in there in the end, but I wanted this to be a sort of leopard print, animal themed kind of, probably a teen room. This would be a really good teen room. But as you can see, both the double rooms are actually really quite big as well. So if you wanted to, you could always play around the floor plan in this build and create even more bedrooms, I'm sure. But I just wanted to do 2 big rooms and like a 3rd single room. But there is a bathroom upstairs and there's a bathroom downstairs as well. So I apologise if this voiceover sounds a bit all over the place, but I literally had to shut the windows about 10 minutes ago because some guys were outside having a really loud shouting conversation. And me and my husband's next to me, and I'm pretty sure I am evaporating at this moment in time. I just don't deal with the heat very well at all, and we still haven't got an air conditioning unit either. And this is the thing, people always have a go at Brits over moaning about how hot it is, but the thing is, our homes aren't built for this kind of weather. They're built for the cold and the rain, so I'm just kind of justifying why I'm moaning. But anyway, we're at the end now, so I hope you've enjoyed this video if you've got this far. I enjoyed making this one. This one was really nice, so keep the suggestions coming. But I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week, and if you're not subscribed, it would be amazing to have you on board, and please like this video if you enjoyed it. But take care, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
I know that you're curious, I know that you're strong, but life can be furious and things can go wrong. You go, we're better off tomorrow, but who knows if we get joy or sorrow. Stay true to that fire in your heart and your soul. Don't drench your desire in what you can't control. We fly, try so hard to get there, and we might be lost but not forever.